So, security management server, it's consists of the databases with information on a different aspect of the system, such as object, users, policies, policy packages, such sort of details. This data, you know, changes each time the system administrator make modification to the system. So it is crucial and important to maintain a backup of such data so that the crucial information is not permanently lost in the event of security management server failure. Uh, Moreover, if the security management server fails or is get down for administrative purposes, a backup server need to be in place in order to take over its activity in the absence of the security management server essential operations. Uh, in the gateway, we have that HA facility, load sharing facility, like that. Uh, with the management server, we have the similar facility where we can do the active uh, HA, active passive or active standby SMS or HA of the management server, so that whatever the data which is uh, we have will not lose during the failure of any one of the management server. So in management HA, the active security management server, we call it like active SMS, is always or more backups. It's always having one or more backup or standby secret management server, uh, which will we call it like say standby SMS. Uh, there are certain requirements which need to be followed or need to be met so that we can make it SMS as in active passive or active standby mode. Uh, so they are like this SMS or management servers must all be on the same operating system and the versions. The manual HA deployment, uh, the first install SMS is specified as the primary security management server. We're going to see in a lot. This is like a regular SMS used by the system administrator to manage the security policies and etc. things. And whenever we install any subsequent SMS, those must be specified as a secondary SMS. Uh, so once the secondary SMS got installed, uh, we can manually synchronize or it's get automatically synchronized based on the configuration what we get provided. Uh, Distinction between the primary versus secondary is no longer significant since SMS functions always like whatever we do with the SMS, it's always we need to do on active one, and that uh, need to be get synchronized with the passive one, right? It's a simple theory like we have in a clustering part. SMS active availability is also setting the same thing. Uh, the secondary SMS is created with the empty database initially, because when we create a primary SMS, with that only we'll have the security gateway object, other objects. That's why the secondary SMS whatsoever we have, it's always with the empty database. These databases are filled with the information that are newly created uh, when we make that secondary SMS as a primary one, right? Uh, there is a SIC like in the way we have in gateways. So we also need to establish a SIC, secure telecommunication. between your primary and the secondary uh, management server. We will going to see that in the lab. Manual synchronization has been completed with the primary SMS for the first time. Whenever we create that object, we'll establish a sync. Whatever we have for the primary one, that is get installed, or the database is got get installed manually first time, and later on, it's automatically synced. Active versus standby. All management operations such as editing and installing the security policy and modifying the user objects are done by the active SMS. If the active SMS is down or failed and any of these operations need to be performed, uh, one of the standard SMS what we have should be made active by the system administrator manually, or if in case of failure it automatically get down or get fail over. So this transition from the standby to the active must be initiated manually if the administrator want to do that. Otherwise, in terms of the failure, it's supposed to be the standby need to be become active if the active one get failed. Next slide. What data is backed up? You know, in order for the management high availability to function properly, there must be a backup of the configuration, uh, such as the databases, where we have the objects and users. Also, the certificate information, such as certificate authority data and CRL, which is available to be fetched by the checkpoint security gateways. Uh, Latest install security policy. The install security policy is applied to security policy packages from the policy packages. The security gateway must be able to fetch the latest security policy from either active or the standby SMS. Depends. Uh, Synchronization mode. We have two modes. There are two modes of the performing the synchronization: manual synchronization and the automatic synchronization. So manual synchronization between the two SMS in HA is a process it's a process which initiated by the system administrator. It can be set to synchronize databases or database as well as the install security policies, something like that. Automatic synchronization is configured by the secure system administrator to allow the standby SMS to be synchronized with the active SMS at the intervals. This is a standard mode of the synchronization generally we use since it keeps the standby SMS updated. The synchronization scheduled is based on when the security policy is installed with the installed security policy, and all of the database are synchronized accordingly. Additionally, it is possible to synchronize the standby SMS when the system administrator sends the security policy or at the specified security scheduled time intervals. And also, it is possible to synchronize manually even when the automatic synchronization has been selected or it's been configured. It's up to you, like it's your choice. Uh, Synchronization status is the status of the peer SMS, what we get. So there are the synchronization status which indicates the status of the peer SMS in relation to that of the selected SMS what we have. Uh, this status can be viewed in the management high availability servers window or a smart view monitor depending on whether you are connected to the active or standby SMS. So number one is never been synchronized. It means immediately after the secondary security management server has been installed, it has not yet undergone the first manual synchronization. that bring it up to the date with the primary secondary anime server. During that, you will able to see this thing like a never been synchronized kind of thing over there. Then there's a call. There's a next. I mean the next status which is synchronized. The peer is properly synchronized and has the same database information and installed security policy. So if everything looks good, we'll see this synchronized. Otherwise, it shows like never been synchronized. Then lagging. The peer SMS has not been synchronized since the active SMS had changes applied to it. So whenever the peer synchronized, we made some changes into the active one, and if that is not applied to the passive one, you will see this lagging, status. Next is the advance. Uh, Advance is something like the peer SMS is more of up to date all the times. So whenever you see like that, don't worry about it. It's something which is good thing. And the last one, which is collision. The active SMS and its peer have different installed policies and databases. So of course, there is a collision detected. The administrator must perform manual synchronization and decide which of the SMS is overwrite with the different policies with the different objects which not need to be have in place. So during that you will see this stage called synchronized. Uh, yeah, I think this slide is repeated. Let me delete this slide. Okay, these slides are getting repeated. Let me delete this. Yeah, so this is a theory behind this active passive uh, of the Manima server. Before going live, do you have any queries on this? It's a straightforward thing, so there's nothing much fancy here. I assume you don't have any query. Is that the case? So we can, move to the lab.
Not really, not a query.
Okay. So yesterday what I did, I have just configured the SMS1 and SMS2, the basic configuration, initial configuration. I haven't done the web UI configuration yet. So uh, in your lab also you can do this, the basic thing. The important thing is after this, okay? So let me just resume one SMS first and let's configure the web UI of it. HTTPS, IP address is this. This is the primary one. So primary one is like something we basically configure with our whatever the with the basic things. There's nothing much we need to have. So I'm just configuring what are the basic configuration we need to have. Give it a name SMS1. Let's have the domain for now. Um, domain name I'm just going like this. So this is a security management server. Here you have to define whether it's a primary or secondary. So now this is a primary one. So let's have it. Let's have the old admin, any IP address, and finish. Let's wait for a couple of minutes here, and we'll resume the second one. Okay. Meanwhile, let's do this as well, or it's okay. Do it later. We'll do it later. So let this configuration get finalized. We'll do the second SMS. One 192.168.1.102 is the secondary one. That is the case. Okay, it's a different IP address. Let's see, 1.1. Hmm. Primary is done. For now, I'm just making this guy in a suspend state so that there should be no delay in the configuration of secondary one. So this is the secondary one. Let us give it SMS2. This guy's firewall gang.com. Primary DNS. Okay, date time. It's a minus server. So now this is the important step which we need to follow. So pay attention. So here this is the secondary one. So you have to just select the secondary manual server and give it an activation key. Next, next. So let it this gate finish. We'll start the primary one, and before that let me go to the gateways and just change the SIG of it, SIG key. So far so good, guys. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Okay. For now only one gateway we will put into the list. So go to the expert. Okay, expert. CP config. Option number 5. Reinstall. Yes. Give the activation key. Exit. The gateway start. The primary one. Let me start it now. So let's log into the primary one. Look like it's still initializing. Just give it a minute. Now it's in listening stage. So guys, note down this is one of the important port uh, which we need to always see when manual server is not giving you. I mean, it's not you're not able to log in. So basically, that process which is called FWM or CMI, that process is listening on this port 18190. So initially we were not able to see this listening things. Now it's giving us the details like it's got established somewhere. So I think now we are good to connect. Let's see. So most of the processes are established. Let me do this. Sorry. Uh, should good, but I don't know. Maybe I have given a limited RAM. That's why this is causing slow response. So ideally, we need to give it like around more than 8 gigabit of RAM. I mean 8 GB RAM. More than that, I'll give us 7. That's why it's slow. There's no other reason on this. But let's see. Still initializing. Okay, now it looks established. I think we are good now. Hope it should connect.